Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. So today we're going to be doing the love predictions for April, and normally what we would do in these types of readings is we would pick a pile and we would also pick a gnome for like a layered extended reading, but we're not going to do that this month. We're just going to pick a pile like a normal reading, purely because I feel unable to do that length of reading today. Doing the extended reading adds a lot of extra time for filming and editing on for me. And a lot of you know that recently I've been battling burnout. That's still a thing. I've recently recovered from being quite ill, so I'm kind of still dealing with the knock-on effects of that, I think, but also I also have some difficult things going on in my personal life now as well. Just another wave of joy to work through. So I am struggling a little bit with keeping up with stuff at the moment, so I want to thank everyone for their patience with me, and also for everyone who already knew that I was having some issues with burnout and energy levels and things like that. I've had some really lovely messages from you guys, both in the comments section on YouTube and privately as well, and it has meant so much to me that you have been so kind to me, that you have taken the time to offer support and a hug or a handhold, words of wisdom. Whatever it was, thank you so much to all of you for your lovely words, because they really have helped me a lot, and it's been so nice to know that so many of you have been thinking about me and so many of you care about me on a personal level as well. So I am sorry that we're not going to be doing the gnomes today. I just really don't want to overextend myself and potentially push back any recovery or make myself feel worse when I'm already struggling with quite a few different things going on. So to make up for it, we will be still using the Gnome Tarot for one of the piles, and also we've got the what are they called, Elfen, öffnen, Herzen, the little earth elemental cards that I use for the gnome readings. We'll be adding them to your regular piles today. So let's take a look more closely at the piles. Obviously we're doing love life in April, so you might want to ask a particular question of the cards when you're looking at trying to pick a pile, or you might just want to say, what's coming up for me in love in April? What messages do I need to hear about love? What can I expect in love over the next month? However you want to word it, whatever feels right for you, and we'll be open to whatever wants to come through in the reading. So let's look at the piles more closely. I want to say a big thank you as always to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including Alexandra, Kelly, Joan, Cara, Mia, Nicole, Alison and Lena. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for your love and for the support that you show to the channel. So over on pile 1 we have got this card, which is a guy offering flowers to what looks like a doll. You can see, not sure if you can see very well in the lighting, but you can see that she has drawings and marks on the back of her that show that she's not a real person. And we've got the Tarot of the Divine coming out here, so there's obviously some kind of important message there for pile 1 to do with appearance or surface reality. Then on pile 2 we have got Red Riding Hood and the wolf sitting in this snowy landscape, but they are sitting down to have a picnic in this very, what looks like summertime or springtime landscape. It's like this little snapshot of difference in amidst this very bleak space. And we've got the Tarot of the Gnomes for pile 2. So we're bringing the Gnome Tarot into the regular reading today rather than adding it on at the end. And then over on pile 3 we have this rainy landscape, and so it's kind of a similar vibe to pile 2. And we can see that there's very gloomy windows in these other buildings, and then in this building in the center there is this brilliant light. It actually looks like it's opening out onto a hillside where it's sunny, or like a sunny open space. It's like this beautiful sunlight shining and blue skies inside that house. And we have the Oceanic Tarot for pile 3. So you might be drawn to a particular atmosphere or mood of one of these cards, because obviously they've jumped out for a reason. I haven't picked them, but they came out when I was shuffling for pile markers, so they have some inherent vibration or energy that is going to pull you into them. But I would say don't just choose the card that you prefer or that you think might have the better meaning, or the deck that you prefer or that you most want to see. Choose the one that you feel drawn to with your intuition, the one that you can't stop looking at, or that you maybe get like a tingly or a warm feeling when you do look at it, because that will give you the most accurate reading. And at the end of the day, that's obviously what we're here to do, is to give you the most accurate reading for your situation. So take as much time as you need. You can pause the video or go back to the start if you need more time. And when you've chosen, I will get started with pile number 1. Hey there, group 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose the picture of the doll being given flowers by this guy, he could also be a doll, but he might be a regular person. We can't tell. The indication is that we only have the perspective of the doll here and the Tarot of the Divine. Then this is going to be your reading. So obviously we have to take into account the meaning of this card, which indicates to me some kind of falsehood or some kind of situation where all is not as it seems on the surface. So obviously this guy is presumably seeing a very beautiful woman, but we can tell that she's not real. So that to me implies falsehood, or it implies believing a fiction, or it implies there being a deeper situation going on than what is visible on the surface. So that could pertain to your love life in April. Let's take a look at your tarot cards first to see what they can tell us. Then we'll do your oracle cards and of course your charms and dice as well. Group 1, love life in April. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles. We also have the Knight of Swords. So 2 court cards already. And the Star. Interesting. So there's a lot of zodiac signs coming out here. There's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Especially Aquarius, given that we've got both the Knight of Swords and the Star. So there's a couple of things going on here. I can see, firstly, we can take the Queen of Coins or the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords as 2 separate people in this situation. So 2 people who are important in the connection. So that could obviously mean that there is already someone that you have your eye on, or that there's already someone that you are currently in a relationship with. The Star indicates some kind of healing. And while the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords definitely aren't the most natural match in the deck, they're not a million miles away from each other either. They're not like people that you would put together and think, oh, that would be terrible. You know, they do have a lot of qualities that they can work on together. So I think here there's definitely some kind of need for healing to move on from the past. And so that could mean that there has been falsehood in the past, that there has been lying or cheating of some kind, because that's what I keep looking at when I see this card. But it could be something more to do with like fantasy, because as we mentioned, the doll can also point towards fantasy versus reality. So it could be that you felt as though someone was stringing you along, maybe, you know, giving you what you wanted to hear with no intention of really following through in it, and that left you feeling hurt. So now you're wondering, how can we move forward from this? So there's definitely some issue to work out here, group 1, in April. Separation, time apart from your partner, is on the horizon. This doesn't always indicate a breakup. So for some of you, it might indicate going your separate ways from someone, but for others, it can be more like choosing to spend less time around each other. It could be a very natural separation because one of you is going traveling, for example, or on holiday, or you're going to be very busy work-wise, so you're not going to be seeing each other as much. But it can also be things like a trial separation, some kind of controlled period where you are deliberately not speaking to one another when that's been agreed, like we're going to have a break or we're not going to talk for this amount of time because I need to get my head around things, or I need to decide what I want to do moving forward. It could even be something external to the relationship that's putting pressure on it. So when I see the Star card indicating healing and kind of the future being better in a relationship reading, it's not always that there's an issue within the relationship. It could be that someone is dealing with other things in their life, or pressure at work, or ill health, for example. And that means that they don't have as much energy to put into the relationship, or they don't have the same sort of focus that they maybe did at the start, or they maybe should have in the relationship. So it causes them to need some time apart, or to spend more time focusing on this particular issue within their own life. We've got this card from the Lover's Oracle, which says, if you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. So there's definitely a situation here where it's like, I'm not happy with how things are currently. And this could be you, or it could be the other person in this connection, because I genuinely see that whoever has picked this pile, this is a situation where you are in a relationship or where you are dating someone. It could be a crush situation that's not developed into anything romantically yet. But if you don't have anyone on your mind, if you are completely single, you have no particular person that you're interested in, then this really may not be the pile for you. So you might want to stick around another few minutes, see if you get anything that resonates with you here. And if it still doesn't resonate, then maybe go back and pick a different pile, because I really strongly feel that this is to do with people who are in a relationship, or someone who's recently separated. Potentially it could be to do with someone who has recently had a breakup, or a crush that didn't work out the way that they wanted it to, or a dating situation that didn't progress further. So we have Belohnung, number 3, reward. Number 70, Langeweile, boredom. And number 30, Segen, blessing. So there's some lovely cards there. Reward and blessing are really nice. I think they fit nicely with the Queen of Pentacles and the Star. The boredom card is interesting though, because this suggests a dissatisfaction in someone. And this could either be as a result of the relationship, or it could be something external, as I mentioned, like someone's energy just being drained by work, or someone having a tough time in their family life or with their health, etc., and it's causing them to feel dissatisfied. Look how similar this card is image-wise to this card. Like, they both show someone lying languidly on the bed and just looking like they have no energy. It's really giving me a 4 of Cups vibe, where you just feel apathetic and like you can't appreciate what you have in your life that's good, because you're just so down in the dumps, or you're so low on energy, or you're so focused on what you don't have. So that's definitely a problem here with someone's mindset. Like, you can't notice the blessings you have because of this issue. Okay, from this deck we're just getting number 63, Der Götze des Gewinnens, and that is also very interesting, because I was literally talking about work, and that means the idol of profit. So when you feel like you're constantly chasing profit, you're constantly chasing returns, this is especially poignant, I think, for people who are self-employed, or people who work in like very high powered corporate roles where they have a lot expected of them, like they have targets to meet and there's a lot of competition with other people in the workplace. Like, there's a lot of responsibility there, I'm feeling, and it's either that typical sort of stereotypical soul-sucking job, or it is having all of the responsibility on one's shoulders because of being self-employed, or potentially even working in a family business where the dynamics between personal and business life are, you know, very conflated, and that can lead to a lot of negativity. Seasons of the heart. Changes are coming. Changes in how you feel. Winter is followed by spring. It's important to remember when you're feeling like you're in that 4 of Cups energy, when you're feeling like you just can't focus, like you can't appreciate anything. You've got number 16, Bitchfire, stand up for yourself. And number 30, Castle, it's time for healing, not war. These are very, very important, I think. So let's look at it from both angles. So firstly, let's suggest that you are the person whose partner is experiencing these issues. It seems to me like burnout, or it seems like just feeling so stressed or down about one area of your life that they can't focus on the relationship as much. So you feel underappreciated, undervalued, you feel miserable that you're not getting the attention that you want, or the relationship isn't progressing as you'd hoped. So in that case, stand up for yourself is talking about making those feelings clear. It's saying, look, I understand that you're having these problems, but I also don't deserve to be ignored, or I don't deserve to be treated like I don't matter, or like my feelings don't matter in this situation. But it's saying, don't go at it on the aggressive, on the defensive. You know, don't be like trying to attack that person for the way that they've treated you or the way that they've made you feel. Just make it clear that this is how you've been made to feel. It's been very upsetting for you, and you want to find ways to move past that and to move forward with healing in mind. If, however, you're the person who's experiencing the burnout or the issues or the situation, then it's saying stand up for yourself in that situation. So if it's a work situation, make it clear that you're struggling, or that you feel like you're being treated badly at work, or like too much is being placed on your shoulders. If it's a family situation, make it clear that you won't be spoken to in that way, or that you won't be treated like that, and that you might want to distance yourself for some time. Whatever it is, take the appropriate action to make your feelings known. But again, not in an offensive way, not in a way that is attacking or placing blame or looking for an argument, but just in a way that is being open and clear and looking for a solution. I hope that makes sense to you, Group 1, because that's really how I'm feeling this situation. Like, it has the potential to escalate if people's buttons are pushed and people, get defensive, feel attacked, feel like no one's there to support them. It could just turn into a massive argument and a situation that everyone regrets and resents, or it could work out in a peaceful way where there's like a sort of cathartic coming together and talking about how you're feeling and how affected you've both been by this, and choosing to take steps towards a peaceful resolution. Could really go either way depending on how you approach it. I also just heard the word July in my mind when I was just shuffling the cards then. So July could be important. It could be when all of this wraps up finally. It could be an important time for you. Maybe there's a birthday or an anniversary around that time, or a big event like a holiday being booked or something. This card definitely fits the situation. Elf Queen, number 13. It says introverted burden responsibility. And that is literally what I'm feeling, someone being burdened by responsibilities, and it's turning them inwards. It's turning them away from where they should be placing their focus. And we have number 3, sorceress, rituals, power, will. So again, I think it's saying it's all about your intention, and it's all about how you approach the situation, like how this turns out ultimately is to do with how you approach it. Bay leaves, abundance. Yeah, again, there's that purse at the front of the card there. It feels like someone's really chasing the money or the status that comes with being in a particular role. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's great to have high ambitions and to, want certain things for yourself and to have dreams. But when it starts to affect other areas of your life and when it really starts to drag you down, that's when steps need to be taken to change things or to reassess what it is that you're doing or what it is that you want. Okay, so here we've got new beginnings in the reverse, the 1 of cycles, and the honouring path in the reverse, the 7 of intentions. So the honouring path points towards you doing something that really feels right for your soul, where you really feel like you're on the right path and like you're getting the recognition that you deserve. You can see that the woman here is being applauded, she's on stage, she's being rewarded these beautiful flowers, a symbol of people's appreciation and pride that they have in her. And so when it's in the reverse, it's when you're not following that path, or when you're feeling unrecognized or undervalued for the path that you've chosen. And when we get new beginnings in the reverse, it's talking about resisting change. It's resisting those new beginnings, trying to fight against changes that are coming into your life. Archangel Gabriel in the reverse there as well. Number 3, that means Archangel Gabriel's energy is strongly needed in your life. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel is the archangel of creativity, especially for anyone who has a creative career or a career that is to do with communication or the media. He's also the archangel of children. New beginnings, new ideas, very connected to him as well. So when we get him in the reverse, it's almost like he's calling out to work with you. It's like he's saying, please, please ask me for help. Please ask me to come in and help you, because I would love to, but I can't interfere with your free will without you asking me to. Candy loaded, social gatherings, celebrations, special events. Maybe that's what the July message was about. Like, I don't know why I heard July in my mind, but there was obviously something going on in July for some of you. Could be a special event like a birthday or something that you're already looking forward to. Could also feel like the word loaded is really jumping out at me there, because we've already had words like burden, like responsibility, which all carry this heavy vibe, which the word loaded does as well. Like, it feels like maybe social gatherings and meetups and talking to people are starting to feel like a burden, like an extra responsibility for that person, whether it's you or another. So it's like maybe cutting down on those kinds of things might be helpful, because I feel like part of the issue with feeling underappreciated for the person who's feeling that way is that they're not getting the same level of contact in terms of like messages and stuff. They're not getting the same level of conversation when that person comes back in from work, if you live together, or when you meet up if you don't. Like, it just feels like there's not that presence there that you need and want and expect from a partner. Yep, this really fits group 1. I asked who's coming towards you in love in April. We always do that with the archetype cards. And we got scribe. Okay, light attribute, preserving knowledge and information. Shadow attribute, altering facts or plagiarizing another's work. But I feel like the image is what's really important here. Someone who is just so swamped with things to do, with responsibilities, with forms, with documents, with sorting something out, working overtime, or taking work home with them, in the literal sense, or in the sense that they are like repeatedly checking work emails when they're at home. Like, there's just this strong vibe of I'm unable to switch off that I get coming through. So group 1, let's also get you a message from the masculine and feminine in this situation. And in order to figure out who is who in this situation, you just need to ask yourself, what's my dominant energy? How do I portray myself in the world? What are the dynamics in the relationship that I have with my partner? Because the dominant energy within us, because we always have both masculine and feminine, it's very rarely 50-50. The dominant energy within us is not necessarily correlating with biological sex. I'm sure you've met many women who have their dominant masculine energy, and I'm sure you've met many men who have their feminine energy dominant within them, and we can just tell very easily from their energy. So the message from the feminine in this situation is Parvati, spirit. Okay, so the feminine seems to be focused on basically rising above the situation. The feminine seems to be focused on what's going on a higher level, seeing maybe the lesson behind the situation, not getting bogged down in the mundane, but being able to look beyond and see what's going on there, and trying to understand it from that compassionate perspective, rather than feeling like, oh my God, you know, this is happening, it's so stressful, when's it going to end? They're just trying to think, you know, there's a reason for this, or we can work around this, or there's something here that we can learn, and not feel you know, completely distressed by what's happening, basically. So let's get a message from the masculine now. Okay, your message for the masculine is Osiris, Resurrection, number 36. Okay, so the masculine seems to be the one who's undergoing this change. And with the new beginnings in the reverse, it feels like they're possibly resisting that change. So they need some time to basically come to terms with it. It's an internal change that's being brought about by external circumstances, like a death and rebirth. The earth elementals say, ohne Neugier erfährst du nichts. Without curiosity, you experience nothing. A reminder to try and keep your mind open, to keep yourself interested, even when you feel down or when you feel stressed. Group 1, let's get your charms on top now. And then we'll do your dice as well. If you're a patron, or if you saw my Instagram post recently, you'll know that there are 2 new charms in the tin, which I'm really excited to see. They haven't popped out for this reading, I don't think, but I'm excited for when they do. So what have we got here? Where do we start? Okay, well, I can see that we've got the worry thread here, symbolizing worry and anxiety. We've also got the leaf, which is this symbol of releasing what is no longer needed, letting something fall away. Okay, we've got the worry doll. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of worry, a lot of mental stress, which we picked up on in the reading, didn't we? Then we've got the octopus, which is also right on point. It symbolizes someone having a lot of things to do, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things that they're trying to juggle, basically. We've got the shield, which is about defending oneself from stress, from negativity, but it can also, I guess, symbolize being defensive, because we've got the sword as well, the Ace of Swords. And obviously the sword and the shield suggest that someone is ready for some kind of fight, or is ready for war, in a sense. We have seeing things clearly, acknowledging a situation, listening to your inner wisdom, your conscience to guide you. The saxophone is coming up, which to me points towards high art and sophistication. So that could be just a confirmation symbol that this is your pile, if that has a special meaning for you. But it could also indicate that there is something you're doing with your partner in April that is to do with high art. So it could be obviously going to some kind of jazz concert, or it could be going to a concert more generally, going to an art gallery, museum, theatre, something along those lines. Seeing like an independent movie or something like that. We've got the unicorn here, which is a Scottish symbol because it's their national animal. It's also a symbol of innocence and purity. And it's a nice thing to know as well, because I genuinely feel as though no one in this situation is necessarily to blame. Like you can't point the finger and be like, you started the situation, you're a terrible person. Like, I feel it's just people reacting to things that have happened to them, if that makes sense. And maybe people could have dealt with it better, but I feel like they genuinely were just doing what they were able to do at the time, or doing the best that they could do at the time. So I do feel like it's hard to assign or apportion blame in this situation. We have the tree, which is symbolic of growth, stability, the fairy who brings blessings coming your way, and then also the chair, which is about material security and finances and the household. So there could be an issue here to do with moving in, or being in each other's space, being on top of each other kind of thing. There could be things to do with renovating a house, or doing DIY, interior design. Something like that could be causing friction as well, or just be an extra thing that's happening relating to your love life in April. Let's get your dice on top. So we're going to roll the 7th set of dice for you. Group 1, those are the Harry Potter dice. And we're rolling 2 of them for you. Okay. Okay, so we've got the person asleep in bed. So obviously the whole person lying around in bed is an important symbol here. Someone needs more rest is literally all I can say. Someone needs some downtime, or they need some time away from a situation that is causing them a lot of stress and which is putting pressure on this relationship. And then there's Lucius Malfoy. Okay, so with Lucius Malfoy, I always think of someone who may think they're better than other people. I think of people who are privileged as well. I also think of enemies or people who are underhand or who stand in your way. This is landing on the Divine Masculine card. So it could be that someone is... I don't even know how to word this. Like, it seemed quite clear in my mind, but I'm struggling now to put it into words to convey what I mean. There's something here about someone struggling to accept help or to acknowledge or admit what's going wrong with them because of their upbringing or their social background or their family. So I hope that makes sense, Group 1, because it made sense to me, but I kind of feel like it might not make sense now that I've said it. But whatever is causing the problem, there is something to do with their social status or their family and upbringing, heritage, that is causing a blockage to them to solving it. So it could be literally that they work in a family business and therefore it's difficult to like confront your family members head on about being mistreated or not being treated fairly at work. It could be that they are expected to be very successful because they come from a very privileged background where everyone is expected to be successful in their family because they've been given a good start in life, and they struggle with accepting that they are struggling and holding their hands up and saying, look, you know, I didn't think this would happen to me, but I am struggling with this and I feel like I want to take a step back. Like there's something there that's causing a blockage because of how they were raised or what they were taught growing up to believe about themselves and about the world and about what success or happiness means. So I really hope that resonates with you, Group 1, because like I said, it was a little bit hard to explain, but that was what I was picking up on there. And that's coming from the side of the masculine. So Group 1, I thought also to make up for the fact that we don't have the Gnomes today, I mean, obviously they're here, but we're not getting specific messages from them. I thought we would maybe use this lucky 8 ball, and you can ask a question about your love life in April, and I'll shake the ball and we'll see what answer comes up. It's just a little bit of fun to enjoy at the end of the reading. So just pick your question, pause the video if you need to think of one, and then just focus in on your question while I shake the ball. Okay, it says focus and ask again. So really focus on your question, Group 1. What does that say? Oh, it says focus and ask again. Okay, let's try one more time. It says... It says positively. Okay, sorry, I was just waiting for the bubbles to clear out of the way. Positively. Okay, well that's great. We've got an answer of yes, basically, or positively, to your question. I hope that was the answer you were hoping for. So Group 1, I really hope you enjoyed your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bearing with me and having patience with me while I'm going through these difficulties in my life. Thank you for your support. Please let me know what you thought of the reading. I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to help out my channel. And please do check out the links in the description box below or in the comment that I post in the comments section below. Anything you do to engage with the work that I do really helps me out and supports me to continue making these videos. I have wish lists linked below for you to donate to the channel if you'd like to do that. I've got a PayPal link as well for people who want to leave tips and donations to support me. I have my Instagram page where you can get daily oracle cards, daily readings that I've been doing over there. I've got my Patreon as well if you want to support me further. I've got an astrology course running on there at the moment, and obviously lots of other giveaways and things as well. I've got my Etsy page for private readings and services like healing sessions and information about your guardian angel, and all of that massively supports me. And then we also have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations still. So that is a company that makes beautiful handmade crystal jewelry infused with intentions to help you bring the right energies into your life. They also do things like Apple watches with the crystals, for example. They are offering us 10% off, and they also have free international shipping. So if you use the link below to validate the discount code and then use that code VIOLET at checkout, you will get that 10% off your first order. Thank you again for being here, Group 1. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful April and a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hey there, Group 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose Red Riding Hood and the Wolf having this picnic in what looks like a little sunny patch of a very snowy landscape, and the Tarot of the Gnomes, this is going to be your reading. So let's get your tarot cards first. Obviously we have to pay attention to this card in terms of what it brings to your reading. I think it points towards a temporary truce in a difficult situation. I think it points towards finding comfort, support, friendship, kinship with another person in a time of difficulty or a time of stress. I think it's also about noticing and focusing on the lovely moments in a time that might otherwise be quite stressful for you, or that might feel quite difficult to deal with. Let's get your tarot cards first, Group 2. Okay, so we've got Trojka Čaš, the Three of Cups, and it says postojanstvo, constancy or consistency. We have Mir, the world. Then we have umiernost, temperance. And Trojka Mečей, the Three of Swords, and it says milosrdие, pity. So you've got 2 threes and 2 major arcana cards, which is already quite interesting. Obviously the Three of Swords often points towards heartbreak or a difficult time, grief, sadness, etc., depression, low mood. The World points towards a time of completion and also a time of change. Can point towards travel, and in a relationship reading can also be about long distance relationships. Temperance is about healing and coming to a place of moderation after you've experienced very extreme things or very polarized emotions and thoughts. And then the Three of Cups is this light-hearted, happy, fun energy. Okay, so there's obviously a few things going on there. I'm curious to see what your oracle cards are going to say. We have Sagittarius energy showing up so far in your reading with the Temperance card, but I'm sure we'll probably get some more zodiac signs as we go through your reading. So, true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. What a gorgeous card to get, Group 2. And I think that really fits with the energy of this card, of how there seems to be someone there for you at a very difficult time. Someone who provides you with the consistency or the constancy that you need. You have this card from the Lover's Oracle, which says new beginning, a new adventure awaits, embrace it and live your dreams passionately. That's always exciting to receive in any reading. And I think that fits nicely with the World card that we got, this new beginnings message. You could be struggling to adapt to change, Group 2, or you could feel like things are changing externally without your control or without your say-so, and that can feel quite confronting, quite difficult. The World, it's often like a milestone time as well, where you're literally like, you're not just going through change, but you're literally putting a part of your life behind you. It's like that chapter is now finished and I'm moving on, and I'm never going to be able to go back there except in my memories. And that can be quite upsetting, even if we want to move on. You know, we don't want to stay at university forever, or we don't want to be single forever. You know, it can be hard to let go of that mindset and what we've gotten used to. So group 2, we've then got Der Götze des Glamours, number 64, the Idol of Glamour. That's a very interesting card. And then we've got Der Graal, number 9, the Grail, as in the Holy Grail. Okay, so the Idol of Glamour comes out when we are kind of falling victim to a mindset of having to be a certain way or appear a certain way. Like, I think part of this is coming from you being quite a proud person and you not wanting to, like, break down in front of your partner, or have someone that you're maybe in the early stages of dating see you being upset, because that's not who you are usually. You're not someone who cries, or you're not someone who like shows an awful lot of emotion very early on in relationships. And so there's like this feeling of, I have to put on a certain front, I have to be seen in a certain way, I have to look a certain way, I have to dress a certain way. And the Holy Grail is kind of making me feel like, actually, what you're finding here, group 2, given that we've also got the True Love card, which is amazing, is you're finding someone who actually accepts you for you and doesn't expect you to do anything else, or to mask yourself, or to pretend that you're feeling okay when you're not. And someone who would actually be upset if you were to do that, because they would feel like you didn't trust them, or like, you know, what a terrible person am I if they feel like they have to pretend to be okay when they're not around me. Okay, so group 2, then we've got Gaben, number 14, gifts or talents. Number 70, Langeweile, boredom. Group 1 got this card. Then we have number 77, Rollen, roles. And look at the masks that they're holding up. This is literally what I was feeling from the Idol of Glamour. And then Verbundenheit, number 40, connectedness, closeness. Wow. So with gifts, this could be someone appreciating you for who you are. It could be that they are literally giving you gifts and we're meant to like interpret that as maybe their love language or something, but I feel it's more to do with gifts as in your skill set, your personality, the positive traits of your personality. Someone's really recognizing you for your worth and for what it is that you have to offer and the amazing talents and abilities that you have. The boredom and the roles, you know, this could be that you are worried that someone's going to get bored of you if you are, you know, don't sort your life out, or do more interesting things, or be more spontaneous, or look different, or whatever. I feel like that's strongly not the case, group 2. I really feel like whoever it is that you're with in April really appreciates you for you. I think it's also about potentially you just feeling frustrated with your life. Like with boredom, it's like you want to be something better. The glamour, like the red carpet, you want to be someone special. You want to be doing something that's not what you're currently doing because you feel unfulfilled with what you're doing currently. And obviously we've talked about the roles, like playing a certain part, putting on a certain mask. But the closeness that you get from this person, the strong connection that you have, really encourages you and gives you that base or that sounding board or that sanctuary that you need. Mint, clarity, seeing things clearly in April, getting the truth of a situation, acknowledging the truth of a situation, maybe not so much an epiphany as an acknowledgement. Then we have the Five of Scrolls, diversity. I think that goes with the boredom card quite well, of you wanting to do more, wanting to have more of an interesting life, or maybe do more things with your partner, like you feel like you're always inside, or you're always going to the same places and you want to be more exciting. The One of Keys, the architect, building a future, having a vision. Could be that you want to go on holiday, for example, or you want to have a clear, thought out long-term future with this person. Rose petals, this is a beautiful card. Blessings from heaven are going to shower down upon you like rose petals in the breeze, is what that card says. It's such a lovely card to receive, and a very, very gentle one as well. It kind of acknowledges, when you get that card, that you are feeling quite vulnerable, or you are feeling quite small or weak, and like you just need some gentle love. You don't want anything overwhelming to hit you. You don't want some massive life change to happen overnight because you haven't got the bandwidth to process it, or the emotional stability right now to just not burst into tears. You just need some gentle kindness, some reassuring, some love, basically. And heaven is going to provide that for you in April. Then we have number 14, Thorns. Weave together the crown you deserve. This is a nice card. Like, there's this message again of being supported and lifting each other up. Recognizing the difficulties and the struggles that you've had to come through, those thorns that have pierced you or stung you or hurt you in the past. And working through it together, helping each other together, and not feeling ashamed of what you've been through. Stuck energy in the reverse, that's nice. The 8 of energy, because that means that any blocked energy or anything that has felt stagnant in your life is going to start getting moving. But given that you have rose petals, I think it's going to be in a very gentle way, because, as I said, I felt like you couldn't really cope, group 2, with something happening very suddenly, because I think you've had to deal with quite a lot recently in terms of change or accepting things moving on, maybe without your blessing in your life. And so this is like a more of a gentle transition in your life, that energy finally starting to move, not being blocked anymore, you getting off the ground, so to speak, getting moving. Green tea, work ethic, diligence, meticulousness. So basically, like, slow and steady wins the race is the vibe that I get from your reading. Like, the more gently you can approach your situation, the better it's going to work out for you. Having this methodical approach and this vision is going to be better than trying to radically shake things up very suddenly. So group 1, who is coming towards you in love in April? Well, we have guide. Light attribute represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. I think a guide fits well with the messages we've received about support. Someone who is a listening ear, who can help you, who can maybe offer you advice, or maybe just be that person that you can come to and feel empowered by, feel strengthened by, to know that you can take action decisively and that you can always have that person to turn to and they're going to have your back. I think that's going to be very helpful for you, group 2. Your message from the feminine in your love life in April is Hathor, joy. Hathor is the Egyptian goddess of love, so it's really nice to see her in this reading. So the feminine is in the space of receiving, of being open, of wanting to experience joy, basically in the mindset of love, giving and receiving, seeing things through the eyes of compassion. And your message from the masculine is Angus Macog, youth, number 1. this is actually incredible because they are both love deities. Angus MacOg is the Celtic god of love. So that's amazing that they're both love deities. So Angus MacOg is coming through with the message of youth. And I think this is important for those of you that are really experiencing change and are terrified of making the wrong step, because the youth card says what you have in your favor is your youth. Okay, so you have plenty of time to figure out where you want to go, to make mistakes along the way, to try a few things to see what you like. You know, you don't have to get bogged down into thinking, if I make this decision now, that's it for my entire life. You know, that's very rarely the case in life. We might feel like we're going into something that can never be undone, but often that's not the case. Even if you feel like you're not a young person, then Angus MacOg is coming forward to say what you have on your side is a youthful outlook. So the ability to live each day as a fresh new day, the ability to be open-minded and learn something new each day. Also being youthful in the context of a situation as well. So not maybe in your entire life, but youthful in the context of your situation, where it's like you might be maybe needing a lot of support from your partner because you're starting a new job and you feel completely out of your depth. It's like maybe a new place of work or a new field of career entirely. And, you know, he's coming through to say you have that openness. You have that open-hearted nature and the gift of youth, because in this situation you are the newcomer, you are the new person, you are the person who is going to be learning things, and you should try and adopt that youthful energy and mindset in the situation, and you'll do a lot better in that sense. So Hathor and Angus are the masculine and feminine here. And I will note as well that masculine and feminine, I'm talking about energies, so it doesn't necessarily correlate with biological sex. We have all met women who have their masculine energy as the dominant energy. We've all met men who have their feminine energy as their dominant energy. It's all down to the dynamics that you end up in relationships, and also to the way that you present yourself in the world. So you'll be able to quite easily tell which one is dominant within you just by asking those questions of yourself. And then that will tell you, you know, which message is for me and which message is for the other person. So group 2, we've then got Sei mutig, sieh der Wahrheit ins Gesicht. And I think that fits nicely, given that we've talked about acknowledging things and having clarity and accepting the truth, because that card means be brave, look the truth in the face, basically. Look the truth in the eye, stare it in the face, acknowledge it for what it is, accept it, accept the situation. So let's do your charms now, group 2, and then we'll do your dice. And we're also going to get a message from my magic 8 ball as well, to compensate for the fact that we're not doing the individual gnome readings today. Interesting, group 2. So this fell out while I was shuffling. This is the letter Q, and that could be a person's name. It could be a word that comes to you. It could be a place, for example. For me, I always think of the Q as meaning questioning. Like when you're questioning yourself, when you're asking yourself, is this really what I want to do? What is my purpose, etc.? What should I be doing in this situation? When you're having those big questions, existential crisis kind of vibe. So that could be a message for you, or it could just be whatever comes through with your intuition. Just take whatever comes to you with the letters. We've got the love and relationships ball, the rose quartz ball, which says that love is obviously strongly on your mind. Relationships are at the forefront of your energy in April. We've got an older woman or a more experienced woman here. So this could mean that the feminine in this situation is older or is more experienced, more mature in relationships maybe. It could also represent a feminine who is older and more experienced in your life, who can act as a guide or a mentor figure, or who can give you comfort, who can give you another safe space to go to emotionally in April. So be aware of that, because it is landing on the Thorns card about supporting each other and working through things together. We've got the fairy here, which is a symbol of magic and air elemental energy being around you. There's also a fire elemental in the form of the dragon. And the dragon talks about the significant things in your life. So when we get the dragon in a reading, it means that you're going through a very significant time. You're dealing with some very big things. Also, the dragon is a zodiac marker for people born in the Chinese year of the dragon. That could just be confirmation that this is your pile. We've got the gingerbread man, which is about things taking a while to complete, something being like a slow process. So I think that's definitely fitting with what we've heard about you not wanting to make a sudden change, because it feels like that's been happening in your life anyway and you can't cope with anymore. So it's just a gradual process of acknowledging things, of coming to terms with things, of making your decisions, etc. Don't push yourself into doing things at 1,000,000 miles an hour in April, because I really don't think it's going to be helpful for you. I think it's just going to bring you more stress. We've also got the star, which is this big symbol of healing, hope and optimism, being guided. You might find that Hathor comes into your life quite a lot in April, because it's landing on her card to guide you and to offer you healing, or to offer you a greater sense of optimism. Obviously, her keyword in this deck is joy. And I think that is also a keyword that we could use for the star. Then we've got the little bunny, and I love that the little bunny's landed on Angus Macog, because the bunny is symbolic of children and a playful, childish mindset, and basically a very youthful mindset, and in many ways a mischievous mindset. So I like how that's landed there to give us a little insight again into what he was talking about. So we'll do your dice now as well, group 2. Okay, so we're going to roll the third set of dice, which are the mystery dice. Okay, that's a 1, so I'll roll again, see if we can get any more. Still a 1. I'll roll one more time, group 2. Okay, 4. We're going to roll 4 dice for you from the mystery dice box. Okay, so we've got a big love heart, okay, and combined with all of the other messages we received, especially the fact that you also got the 2 love deities as the masculine and feminine, and the true love card, and the Holy Grail, you know, the love and relationships ball there. I think it's safe to say that April is a big month for love. And it's a time when you're really thinking a lot about love, and you're really strongly in that energy, that you're really appreciative of the relationship that you have. That's clear. Okay, what else have we got in the dice? So we've got the troll who's kind of looking over the bridge or over the wall. And to me, when we get this dice, it's always telling us that we are hyper aware of how other people are viewing us. And that goes back to the idol of glamour message about you being super aware of how you come across, really worried about people judging you, really worried about people losing respect for you. I think that's a big thing, because like I felt that you didn't want to be seen as vulnerable, even though you're feeling that way. You didn't want to be seen as someone who doesn't know what they want to do or doesn't have their life together, even though, again, that might be how you're feeling deep down. You don't want to show that because you don't want people to not respect you as a person. And I think that actually whoever it is that you're dealing with in April in love really wants you to open up, not because they want to see you as vulnerable or because they want to, you know, see you at your most distressed or desperate or down, but because they want to be there. They want to know how you're feeling so that they can take steps to help you or support you or deal with it. Basically, we've got suspicion here or doubt. I think that's probably how you're feeling when I say that. It's like, but I don't want to show myself like that, or I don't want to be seen in that way. I don't want to let my guard down around someone because I've been hurt before. I'm suspicious of doing that, or I'm doubtful of what the outcome would be. I just want to say, give it a chance in April group 2. You don't need to offload on someone, like, just because, but if you're really feeling down and you need to talk about it or you need to have that outlet, I don't think there's anything wrong with letting your partner see you in that way, or know that you are feeling so distressed or so stressed or so vulnerable, whatever it might be, whatever the adjective is that you want to use to describe how you're feeling in April. And we've got the trapdoor as well, where you feel like you're falling, or like anything could go wrong at any given moment. And I think that's where the vulnerability is coming in again, because I've kept wanting to say that throughout the reading, even though I felt that that's not who you are as a person. Like, we've all met people who are vulnerable almost as a personality trait, like it's a significant part of their lives and something that they have to deal with. But I don't feel like that's the case with you. I feel like you're someone who normally has a lot of responsibility for themselves, gets things done, doesn't bother people or burden people with their issues, and feeling vulnerable doesn't come naturally to you, and letting people see you in that way is frightening. And so I just feel like you feel a little bit like you're skating on thin ice in April, and it's nice to have so much support around you. Like, it's truly invaluable that you have this kindness coming your way, group 2. So let's look now at the Magic 8 Ball just to finish up your reading. I just thought it would be nice to do this, given that we don't have the individual gnome messages today. So what we're going to do is you're just going to ask a question about your love life, and then I'm going to shake the ball and we're going to see what the answer is. It's just a bit of fun. You can take it however it makes sense to you. So if you haven't got a question, just pause the video so that you can think of one. And then I'm just going to ask you to focus in on your question. So group 2, just focus on your question and I'll shake the ball. Okay, so the answer is, what does that say? Consult me later. Okay, well, we'll try again. We'll see if we can consult the ball again. Just focus in on your question, group 2. Okay, so the answer is don't bet on it. Okay, so whatever that means to you, group 2, that's the answer to your question. So basically a low likelihood, or something that's unlikely to happen but could still happen, basically, but don't bet on it. Don't be like certain of it, basically. So group 2, thank you so much for being here. Thank you genuinely for all of the support that everyone's given to me. It really means a lot to me. I would love to hear from you in the comments if you'd like to let me know how this reading resonated with you. Please like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video and you want to help out my channel. And if you do want to get more involved in the work that I do, head over to the description box or the comment that I post in the comments section. Look at all the links over there. Anything that you can do to engage with my work is a really excellent way of supporting me, and it's greatly appreciated by me. So I have 2 wish lists linked below for anyone who wants to donate a deck to the channel. I also have my PayPal link for tips and donations if you want to help me keep making these videos and support the work that I do. I also have Patreon for that reason as well, if you want to support me and in reward get access to exclusive content. I've got my astrology course running over there now. I've got giveaways and goodies that you can get your hands on over on Patreon. If you would like to get daily oracle cards in your feed or daily readings, my Instagram is there. I would love it if you would go and follow me and show me some support over on Instagram. I have my Etsy page for anyone who wants to book a private reading or healing session or get information about your guardian angel. I have a few different services over there. And all of that massively supports the work that I do, hugely supports the channel as well. But I also have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations if you'd like to get 10% off handmade crystal jewelry. They do bracelets mainly, but they also do things like Apple watches with crystals, and they're all infused with intentions to ensure that you're bringing the right energies into your life at any given time. And they are kindly offering Violet Stream Tarot viewers 10% off your first order. They also have free international shipping. Their jewelry is beautiful. I'm really grateful that they're offering us this discount still, and I really recommend taking advantage of it. So if you use the link below, that will validate the discount code, and then you can use the code Violet at checkout and you'll get your 10% off. So group 2, thank you again for being here. Have a wonderful April. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hi there, group 3, welcome to your reading. If you chose this picture of like a rainy street and then the house in the middle has this bright sunshine inside of it, like a bright open space, and also the Oceanic Tarot, this is going to be your reading. Obviously we have to take into account the meaning of that card because you were drawn to that for a reason. So it seems to me that you are trying to maybe make the best of a difficult situation in April, or you are approaching things with a much more optimistic or positive mindset than you have been recently. There might be other things going wrong in your life or things that you're struggling with, but you're approaching it with the best possible mentality, I think, group 3. Let's see what your cards have to say. So we've got the 5 of Swords, conflict. Okay, that makes sense. Then we have the 9 of Wands, defense. And the King of Wands, practicality. Okay, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, all of the fire signs coming up here. It's like I said, it seems to me like you are dealing with some stuff and you're trying to approach it in the best possible way. You're trying to be positive, or you're trying to be optimistic in the face of difficulty, and that difficulty could be in your love life or it could be in other areas of your life, and that means that you've got to take some of your energy out of your love life and put it elsewhere. The King of Wands could represent you or another person that you have an interest in. With regards to love, it could be a crush, someone you're dating, someone you're in a relationship with, etc. Okay, so 2 cards from this deck. We have Honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. And we also have Engagement, your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So there could possibly be some kind of traveling or holiday going on for you in April. The Wands cards, which you've got 2 out of 3 are Wands cards, do often talk about traveling. Honeymoon to me is not just about holidays though, it's also about time that you spend with someone else that's quite fleeting. So it could be that it's a long distance relationship and they come and travel to be with you, but they're only there for the weekend or a week or something, and then for the rest of the time you maybe don't see them. Or it could be that you're very busy and your schedules don't necessarily match up very well in April, so you don't have that much time to spend together, but the time that you do spend is lovely. Engagement also suggests that there is increased commitment in your relationship. So that just means moving up the level of commitment for each person. So if you're engaged, it's getting married. If you're in a committed relationship, it's getting engaged. If you're dating, it's getting into an official relationship, or it's increasing the level of commitment in your current relationship. If you are completely single, you know, it could be that you get into some kind of attachment with another person. We do have this card popping out from the Lover's Oracle, this angel on the front, which says, it is important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. So that, I feel, reflects what I said earlier about you needing to take some of the energy out of your love life in April and put it in another area of your life. So I would expect, group 3, something to be quite time consuming, stressful, or otherwise like mentally or emotionally taxing in April for you. This could be something at work, it could be a family or friendship situation, it could be your health, it could be something just within your own self. You know, we all know that some days we're just not feeling it and we need to take some time to just be by ourselves to think things through. It could be a personal goals thing, like renovating a house. That takes a lot of your time and energy. Often you don't have the time or energy to really do much else if you're doing something like that. Okay, then we have got Segen, number 30. That's a nice card. Blessing. I think it was group 1 got that card as well. Number 2, Attraktivität, attraction or attractiveness. Then we have Sucht, number 83, addiction. And Trost, number 35, comfort. Okay, so yeah, with Sucht, that can be an addiction to anything. It's not necessarily what first springs to mind when you think of addiction, which for most people will be substances or gambling. People can be addicted to their job, for example. They can be addicted even to things that you might think on the surface are positive, like running. For example, if you feel like you've got to go for a run, and maybe it's every day, or maybe it's certain days of the week that you've set out, or maybe it's a couple of times a week or something like that, whatever your time frame is that you set the bar at. If you feel like you got to go for a run, and if you don't do that, you start to feel panicky or trapped or like a failure, or like your whole week has been ruined, that's when you know that you're becoming addicted to something that on the surface looks quite healthy. It's the mindset that's attached to it. So with comfort coming right after that, and there's also this image of a woman in a red dress, so it looks very similar. It's like comforting someone who is in that mindset. And then there's the attraction, there's the blessing coming your way. Reiner Geist, number 32, pure spirit, pure soul. And number 45, der Götze der Beziehungen. That's very interesting, because we were just talking about addictions can be to things that look positive on the outside, or that don't seem like something you would be negatively addicted to on the surface. But that card means the idol of relationships. So when you completely idolize the thought of relationships or something to do with relationships, and if you don't achieve that, then you've basically failed at life. And that kind of mindset can cause people to remain trapped in relationships that are abusive, or that are unfulfilling, or that are soul destroying, or where someone is maybe in love with the person but is also gambling all their money away, or something like that. Like, they're not necessarily abusing the person or being unloving to them, unkind to them, but they are doing something that's very detrimental to that person's well-being. But that mindset of idolizing relationships or love as a concept can really lead to some regretful choices. So it could be that someone's struggling with in April. Then we've got resolution. So it does seem to suggest that around April there can be some kind of resolution to the situation, some kind of peaceful way of solving it, of looking at it and understanding what's going wrong, and of basically owning it, acknowledging what's happening and choosing to make a difference. So that's where the mindset comes in that I was talking about at the very beginning. The mindset is correct. We have dragons slay them all. Number 6, I love that. That is literally like battling your demons, or working on what is holding you back. And throne, your potential is endless. Number 45, what a gorgeous card. Group 3, you've got some lovely messages today so far. Wow. Your potential is endless. Freya, number 23, abundance, peace, contentment. That's a lovely card. And Freya is a god who is strongly connected to love and relationships, so it's nice that he popped out here. Freya is also connected, though, to sacrifice in terms of love and relationships, like what you're willing to sacrifice for a relationship. So I think that's possibly what the issue is for many people. It's like, do I sort of sacrifice my high responsibility job so that I can actually spend time with my partner? You know, what is it that I'm willing to sacrifice to be in a relationship? And the answer might be nothing. And if that's the case, then obviously you've got some thinking to do. And there's no right or wrong answer there. It's just what feels right for you when you ask yourself that question. What is the truthful answer that comes to you? Not the answer that you reach after self-censorship, but the initial instinctive answer that comes to you. Okay, so yes, mugwort, intuition. Wow, the word intuition. literally what I was just thinking about, is following that intuitive, instinctive response. Don't let yourself sort of be overly rational here. Like, we all know how we can talk ourselves out of a decision that we feel is right for us, or we can talk ourselves into doing something that we instinctively feel is not right, that we don't want to be doing it, you know? We can let that rational brain override our gut feelings and our instincts, and then we often come to regret it. Decrease in the reverse, the Four of Cycles. So this suggests an increase, obviously. You basically receiving more of something, whether that just means that it's a very busy time, or that you receive more money, more love, more attention. Add some in the reverse as well. Number 22, add some means I'm here, or I'm present. And so when we get add some in the reverse, it means that you are basically failing to be present in the moment. You are not present in your daily life. You're kind of mentally or emotionally elsewhere. Physically you might be present, but mentally or emotionally you're elsewhere. For others, it is literally, as I said before, about some kind of long distance relationship, or a relationship where schedules aren't meeting up. So physically you're not there with each other, and that can cause its own problems. Chocolate, purpose, depth, roots. I'm really getting the feeling that April is a time where you do a lot of thinking, group 3, and kind of thinking about, what do I really want? What's my purpose here? What am I here to achieve? What do I understand by love, for example? What's my end goal when it comes to relationships? How do I really view success or fulfillment or happiness in the context of romantic relationships? I think you're doing a lot of deep thinking on that in April, which is interesting. So who is coming towards you in love in April, group 3? You've got guide. Light attribute represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. So group 2 got that card as well. There are some similarities between groups 2 and 3, I think. But on the whole, I'd say they're pretty different. But just, I did notice at the beginning that the cards, the message of the pile marker cards, the original card on each pile, did seem a little bit similar, or seem to have a similar theme running between groups 2 and 3. Your message from the feminine in this situation is Kuan Yin, compassion. So the feminine is coming forward from the position of deep compassion, of kind of like not making excuses for someone, but being able to understand why someone would behave the way that they do, or why they would feel the way that they do, or make the type of choices that they have. Not feeling the need to get into the blame mindset, play the blame game. And your message from the masculine is Vishnu, balance, number 51. So I would say these are quite nicely balanced with each other. Kuan Yin and Vishnu, I think, would get along very well together. They both seem to complement one another's energy quite nicely. To figure out whether you're the masculine or feminine in this situation, just ask yourself what your dominant energy is, and you will know that based on the kind of dynamics you get into in relationships, and also how you put your energy out into the world. Not just romantic relationships, but friendships as well, platonic relationships. That will kind of tell you what your dominant energy is, because we all have masculine and feminine within us, but it's very, very rare for them to be like 50-50 split. One of them pretty much always takes over. So that will tell you which message is for you. Although, to be honest, I do think they're very similar. The messages here are about finding the middle path, being everything in moderation, being gentle, being compassionate, you know, being able to see both sides, I guess, see the middle ground, and picking up on a little bit of Libra energy there. And group 3, the earth elementals say, sei mutig, sieh der Wahrheit ins Gesicht. Now that is interesting because again, that's a card that group 2 got. And it means be brave, look the truth in the face. Like, look it in the eyes, stare it in the face, be brave enough to acknowledge what the truthful situation is, and don't shy away from that, but acknowledge and accept it, because that will set you free. So there are definitely some similarities with group 2. So I do think if you were feeling really like you were really struggling maybe to pick between groups 2 and 3, you might want to pick group 2 as well. Watch it and see if there are any messages there for you. But I do think they're quite different as well. Let's look at your charms now. Group 3, we're going to do your charms and dice, and then also to make up for the fact that we're not doing the individual gnome readings today, I thought we could also look at my magic 8 ball and just have a little bit of fun with that. Pick a question about your love life and I'll shake the ball for you and we'll see what the answer is going to be. So let's do your charms first, group 3. Okay, so this one fell out while I was shuffling. This is the frog, and this is my symbol of a good friend. So it seems like you have a good friend to turn to in April, maybe to talk about the things that you're struggling with, maybe to talk about your relationship. It could also be symbolic of being in a relationship with someone who is not just a partner romantically, but who is also a very good friend to you, like someone who you have that bond with that goes beyond just the physical attraction and the sort of usual romantic partner things, but someone who you can also sort of count on as a friend. Because I've heard quite a few times people say, oh, he's not my friend, he's my partner. And I think, well, shouldn't he kind of be both? You know, there's this vibe I feel of like it's a different relationship, which obviously it is, but I feel like you should be a friend and then a partner on top of that, rather than the two being mutually exclusive. And I think that's what you've got in April, group 3. There's also the letter X over here. So obviously when I do this, especially in relationship readings, I immediately think of an ex. So someone that you've been in a previous relationship with, or maybe even just someone that you've had like a kind of a dalliance with, someone you've talked to but weren't official with. Could be on your mind, could be dealing with things that relationship brought up or created for you. Could be that they pop back up in your life. Just take that however that resonates with you. Also, obviously, if anything comes up for you with regards to the letter X now while watching this reading, intuition, it could be someone's name, could be a word or a place, then just take that on board as well. Over here we've got Ganesha, Lord Ganesha, so another Hindu deity coming through. Because Vishnu is also a Hindu deity. Ganesha is the god of wisdom, and he is a healer, and he also removes obstacles from our path as well. And I feel like that's what you're working towards in April, because we've got that word resolution, and this potential is endless message about you being able to see a way beyond your current situation or the obstacles that you're currently facing. You're able to see how this could feasibly become a lot better, if that makes sense. It's like you can see the horizon beyond the current mountain that you're climbing up. Then down here, we've got the monkey. Monkey is a zodiac symbol for people born in the Chinese year of the monkey. It's also symbolic of playful, fun, light-hearted energy. We've got the wolf as well, the lone wolf, feeling lonely, wanting more support, more people in your life. This could point towards you needing to turn to this friend. As I said before, it could be that you do genuinely like have this only a brief period of time with your partner in April. We've got the faith charm. Have faith, have confidence, trust. There's also the crocodile over here. Crocodile talks about a manipulative person. Basically someone who only has their own best interests at heart and will try and get other people to do things for them whilst pretending that it's not literally just for them. Like they kind of dress it up as like a good thing for that person too. So just be aware of anyone who you feel is trying to push you into something, or is trying to kind of sweet talk or charm you into doing something that you don't want, or into adopting a certain opinion or belief, for example. And down here we've got the binoculars, which is all about insight. Having insight, having a deep understanding of a situation, or being able to look at it very closely. So let's see what your dice have to say now as well, group 3. Okay, we're rolling the 7th set of dice. Those are the Harry Potter dice. Okay, that's a 0, so I'm going to roll again. And we're rolling 2 of them for you. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we've got the what is this? The wanted poster. It's the Sirius Black poster, or it's the Public Enemy #1 poster that we see of Harry at some point in the series. It's a missing or wanted poster for those of you who don't watch Harry Potter or haven't read the books and have no idea what I'm talking about. So whenever I get, because I have another dice in a different set that has a wanted poster on it, whenever I get that pop up, I instantly think of something that you feel is missing from your life, that you feel like, oh, you know, this, I would really like to have this kind of person in my life, or I want this, or I'm missing this person because we're not physically close to each other. I haven't seen them for a while, etc. This could be to do with the ex as well, potentially. Like just a few feelings that I feel all kind of come together as sort of like a confluence in April and cause you to feel like I'm missing something from my life. There's something maybe that I can't quite describe or don't really know how to put into words, but I feel like there's something from my life that I'm missing that I would like to put into my life so that I can feel whole, or so that I can feel fulfilled. Because at the moment, with that sense of missing something or having lost something, I don't quite feel fulfilled, even if I can't articulate that or don't really know what it is that I'm looking for specifically, can't quite define it, but I know that there's something that I'm missing. I hope that makes sense, group 3. Then over here we've got Voldemort, Lord Voldemort. So this, I always think of battling an enemy, whether that's a physical person that's annoying you or putting you down or depressing you, or whether it's like a dragon, you know, a demon in the sense of like something that you have been battling with psychologically, physically, for example, because I did mention some of you might struggle with your health in April. There is another image here of battling a dragon on this card, so there seems to be this repeated imagery also with the obstacle remover, Lord Ganesha there, this repeated imagery of having this struggle with something, of feeling like this is an issue and I know that I can get past it, because like with that analogy that I used earlier, I'm on the mountain but I can see the horizon, but I just, at the moment, I'm in the stage where I'm still wrestling with it, or I'm still trying to overcome it. I've just got the right mindset because I know that I can overcome it, but I'm still doing that right now. I haven't quite put it behind me yet. So there is something that you are trying to overcome in April, group 3. So finally now let's move on to the Magic 8 Ball. Haven't used this before on the channel, but I just thought it would be a little bit of fun to finish up the reading. So just think of a question to do with your love life. Pause the video if you need more time to do this if you don't have a question currently, and then focus in on your question while I shake the Magic 8 Ball and we'll get an answer. Okay, group 3. Okay, the answer is yes. Okay, that was very clear. For the other 2 groups, I had to sort of move it around a bit. There were some bubbles in the way. I couldn't read what it was saying. But yours says yes very clearly and very quickly. So that's great, because both for group 1 and 2, I had to I had to shake it twice. Like, I did it once and then it wasn't giving us an answer, and then I did it again. So that's a very clear yes. Group 3, I hope that was the answer you were hoping for your question. So just have fun with that. Take what resonates from that, leave what doesn't. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, Group 3. Please do let me know in the comments what you thought of the video, because I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear if this resonated. If you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe if you want to help out my channel and if you enjoyed watching today. And do head over to the description box or the comment that I post in the comment section below if you are interested in engaging with me more, or in just supporting my work more generally, because anything that you do to engage with me and the work that I do really does help me out, and it does support this channel as well as the other pages that I have. So I have 2 wish lists linked below for anyone who wants to send a gift of a new deck to the channel. I also have my PayPal link for tips and donations, because some of you just like to leave a small tip, and that's lovely, and I really do appreciate it. I've also got Patreon for anyone who wants to support me in that way. I've got an astrology course running over there at the moment, and there's all kinds of other goodies and giveaways and fun things, rewards over there. So definitely check it out if you're interested in the work that I do and you'd like to get more content and also support what I do. I would love it if you would follow me on Instagram. I post daily oracle cards, and I've also started doing some daily readings now as well, so you get guidance every single day over there in your feed if you do follow me, and that would really help me out. I've got my Etsy page for private readings, healing sessions, guardian angel information packs. I offer a range of services over there, so you can go and book something there if you'd like to, and all of that would really support me and help me in the work that I do. We do also have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations for Violet Stream Tarot viewers. So they are a company that produce beautiful handmade crystal jewelry, and it's infused with intentions to help you bring the right energies into your life. They also do things like crystal Amazon watches, the same. And they are offering 10% off your first order for Violet Stream Tarot viewers, so you can use the link below to validate the discount code, and then once you have used that link that's in the description box, then you can use the discount code Violet at checkout and you'll get 10% off your first order. They also have free international shipping as well, which is great. So I'm really thankful to them for continuing to offer us that lovely discount. Thank you to you for being here, Group 3. Thank you for sticking with me until the end as well. I know I am prone to ramble. I'm a very wordy person. Thank you for your support, for your patience with me. Thank you for your kindness. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful April and a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.